welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Mumbles. Today, we're doing a game review. A game review. Now, what game are we reviewing? Comet Crash 2. Now, Comet Crash 2 is basically an RTS. Now, that means real-time strategy game. And that means this is one of those games where basically you have to make up a strategy. You have to build bases. You have to decide what you're going to build, how you're going to do it, and how you're going to defeat the enemy. Now, this game, if you couldn't tell, takes place in space. And it's pretty dang cool, and I'm pretty dang excited to bring it to you guys. RTS games are things that you don't see a lot of anymore, and I thought that they did a really nice job on this one. So let's get into the actual meat and bones of this game review. Now, this game... Okay, now first off, graphics. Graphics in this game look really good. For a smaller studio, they did a very nice job. I'm very, very impressed. Can't say that enough. Now, soundtrack, there's not much to the soundtrack in this game. It is a nice soundtrack, but there's really not much to it. What they did with it is really nice, so props on that. Now, the controls in this game, I have a couple issues with them, but it's nothing big. I just wish that they would have done a little bit better with mapping things out on the controller, but it's nothing that you can't overcome. So controllers overall are very solid. Now, the gameplay of this game. Now this is the big one, the gameplay. The gameplay. Now, the gameplay in this game is pretty dang simple. You build certain things to defeat the enemies. So, mainly in this game you're going to be using your smaller units, your tanks, your things like that, in order to overwhelm the enemy. But you'd also have to collect things like comets and defeat the other enemy from defeating you so that you can win. Now, the way that you get more power in this game, or more money, or whatever you want to call it, is by collecting these comets. Now, they have certain things that can draw in these comets, and that's basically all this game is. You basically defeat the enemy in any way that you can, using strategy. Not a very hard concept, not a lot to talk about in the gameplay. As far as story mode goes, there's not much to the story. We'll get into that a little bit more in the cons. But for the most part, this game is very straightforward. You just build things and you try to defeat the enemy. There is multiplayer in this game. I didn't play a lot of it, but from what I did play, it seems very solid and very good. But it is hard to find a match. So keep that in mind as we move on into the cons of this game. Now, the cons of this game, as I said, there's a couple. First off, the story. There is not really any story to the campaign. It's just kind of a go through it and do things type of a campaign. Now, as you proceed through the campaign, you will pick up new, power-ups and things like that that will help to, give you more things to build, give you more strategy. The enemies will get harder, and that is a nice aspect of it. Now, another con is that this game does a lot of trial and error on its gameplay. So by this I mean, you'll be faced with a big boss, and they won't tell you anything about this boss, and they expect you to beat it. One of the levels has a big flying thing all of a sudden come out of nowhere. You have no idea what's going on, and it just starts flaming everything, and as soon as it gets to your base, you're dead. So, the trial and error aspect is definitely another con of this game. Now, the final con is the replayability. While it does have multiplayer, once I'm done with the campaign, I didn't really think I would ever go back to it, and I haven't really. But it is a fun little game to play while it's out and while it's there. So keep those cons in mind as we move on to our final score of this game. Comet Crash, you are a great little game. I love RTSs, and I wish that I could justify giving you a little bit higher of a score. But overall, if you're an RTS fan, you're going to love this game. This game gets a 6 out of 10 today. It's a very nice game, a very cool game. I like it a lot. I definitely recommend you check it out. They need to make more RTSs in the world. What the heck is going on, people? Come on! That's really all I got for you guys today. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. Please smack that subscribe button, smack the like button, smack all those buttons. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.